What if I tell you we were 1 minute away from destruction? 1983. 1 minute away from the World War III, the disaster of nuclear warfare. That means all of us who are watching would not have been sitting here, whatever we are doing, if that 1 minute was not avoided by a superhero. Sometimes superheroes are in the opposite side as well. We should have the courage to accept that. Most of us don't have the courage and we always criticize the opposite party. But trust me, many of our heroes are sitting on the opposite side as well. September 26, 1983. 83. Very crucial day. 1 minute of wrong decision would have changed the whole course of history. One lieutenant from the Soviet side in a military bunker designed to understand and detect the upcoming nuclear attack from the US side towards USSR. What happens? 1982, just 1 year before, there have been many contradiction or conflicts between US and USSR in the waters with the nuclear submarines and other threats. We were very much at the brink of war. But 1986, that time was gone. So, not 1986, 1982 to 1983, 1 year of strange conflict, strict conflict was there. In that time frame, the war was nearly at the peak. In that time, every moment there was a strike attack fear from the US and from the USSR because of the major conflicts on the very nearest border from the US and USSR. What was happening? There was a bunker and one brave lieutenant from the USSR side. His name was Lieutenant Colonel Stanislav Petrov. That's why I wanted to read the name of the hero from the other side that we should be grateful of. Both parties should be grateful of the opposite side and this side because some people are so positive and humanity is still alive in them that they don't want war. They want peace for both sides. If he would have made a just right 1 minute wrong decision, a right 1 minute wrong decision, there would have been totally changed history. We will not be sitting in front of these cameras and making these podcasts or informative things about them. Maybe we will not be existing anymore. Why? At that time, his duty was to alert the USSR government to do any strike if any indication of preemptive strike was there from the US. All of a sudden, while he's with his staff inside his bunker, that is fully equipped according to that time frame, 1983. From that time frame, it was fully equipped with the latest technology to detect any nuclear warheads from the US towards USSR. So, USSR is detecting any unusual movement, every unusual movement from the US. All of a sudden, in that bunker full of technology, imagine a signal comes up. Not one, not two, not three, not four warheads, five nuclear warheads showing on their screen, on their radar, that US has launched a attack on US. Nuclear warheads, not even one, five. Imagine the stress, tension in that room at the same moment. You will have goosebumps just imagining seeing that signal on your screen, even visualizing that. You cannot stand that moment right now, even. I am having goosebumps. Even I have read the whole story and everything, researched on it before telling you. Still, while I'm telling you again and again, I'm having goosebumps. Imagine the pressure on that person right now. That person who is in charge of informing the USSR authorities that now they have to attack US in return. He is seeing the signals of five warheads coming to us towards USSR on their radar. Everyone is pressurizing him in the room that they have to inform the authorities to launch a counter attack towards US. That is what is happening at that time in the moment. Now, his duty, according to his training, what he has to follow straight away, even to his loyalty, straight away, he has to inform the authorities and launch the same attack, even the worst attack towards the US. Obviously, US will have countermeasures already defining that whatever they have to do if they launch it. But imagine the the worst day of history, even more worse than Hiroshima and Nagasaki, because at that time the warheads were developed way more stronger than that. He did not flinch a second, even though the whole staff in the room was pushing him to retaliate. Why? He was not only positive, he was instinctual and very intelligent. Why? According to his strategical training and pressure handling techniques he was having, he was about to inform the authorities. But what stopped him at that moment? In one moment, someone can challenge their instincts that maybe he was not loyal or anything, but he was intelligent more than anything. Why? Because of one click, because of his 1 second decision, 1 millisecond decision in his neurons inside his brain, at the back of his brain, the whole human history will be changed. In fact, will be removed if the world will go all in the war of nuclear warheads. Imagine that. What he saw that there are 5 warheads coming directly towards US from to the USSR from US. What he realized, this was never the strategy of US when they are attacking in the first go. That one small point made him stop the attack. He waited and waited. In fact, when every one of his colleagues were pushing him towards creating a retaliating attack and informing the authorities to make the attack, he waited at that time under the immense pressure a human being can bear, because you can be under pressure of you about your family, about your country, but not about the countries. Imagine worse pressure than the presidents, worse pressure than the generals of armies and countries. He is facing the downfall and the doomsday of humankind, not of one country. Many countries wiped out of the history. He is having a composure of himself. He is waiting because he realized that this is the not the way, or this is not the strategy designed by the US. They will never attack in the form of 5 nuclear warheads. Maybe as common person, you and me, we will say that why not? But whatever the military reason is, he decided that this is a glitch, maybe, or a misinformation. He waited to reconfirm again, even though at that time there is no time to wait. It's a matter of milliseconds to attack and re attack. So he waited because of his instincts, intellect, and I believe because of luck. That is why we exist today. It's not merely intelligence, it was luck at that day also, along with the all human beings. So he waited for the reconfirmation and he was right. There was no attack from the US. It was a glitch, and it was not a glitch on the systems or the humans. It was a glitch. Again, why I'm saying it was luck? It was a glitch from the nature. From the nature. If I tell you the reason why they were shown on the screen, on the radar, that there are 5 attacks launched from the US side towards USSR on that day, how they realized that, the mere reason was the unusual alignment of sun rays on the radar. There was some unusual rays coming from the sun on that day, on that particular midnight moment, that entered the atmosphere of the earth and hit the surface of the radar or the detecting system, the satellite system. Because of that glitch, when their satellite system just interpreted those interpreting light from the sun from the outer space towards our space as a nuclear attack. Because of that, we were going into the doomsday. Because of one hero, we are safe today. But till years later, in fact, decades later, this news was crushed. And you know the way of the Soviets, everything is crushed. So obviously, it's the law of the war. So it's not nothing unusual that they hid the news. Obviously, it was going to happen. For years and years, the news was submerged. So no one knew about that. After many years, when the papers came out and the researches came out, until then, the life of that hero was gone into dark. Again, the rules of the war. Obviously, we cannot blame them. Obviously, each party has to defend their secrets. So the hero was never known until and unless there was paper leaked out after many decades. And then we came to realize that this is the reality we are living in. And there have been many doomsdays. Not one, this is one of that we are talking about. There have been many, many doomsdays that we are not aware of yet. We will work on it, we will research on it. Many of the historical things and human nature and historical facts. We'll work on it, we'll bring it to you together. But we have to see the way we live in. Imagine 1983, imagine 2024. Over the course of nearly 50 years, 45, 50 years, where have we come? Imagine the power of warheads we have now. Imagine the tension between the areas now. Imagine the continental fights we are having now. The issues rising in Eastern European countries and in Asia, the wars going on. If anyone flinches a bit, imagine which way the course of the next history will be there. History of us mean this time will be history already. Everything is history. By the time you are going to watch me, it's already history. But imagine that time where it will be standing, where will be all gone. That is why we should be grateful and we should be courageous enough to gracefully accept those heroes who saved both sides, not one side, who saved both sides. Those are the heroes we should be thankful for while we are having a breath of calm. And I am having the layer of sitting in this room in front of the lights and cameras and just talking to you and giving you this lesson. How dare I have the audacity to see this without thanking them? And you definitely will be laughing on them, but not be thankful. Start being thankful about them. Hopefully, you learned a new historical fact today and learned a lesson of thanking these heroes. We'll see you very soon next day in the next podcast with the better information and most useful parts. Obviously, you must be thinking what happened to that hero after that. So, he was in fact given a lower rank of job after that. Why? Because his superiors, to hide their system's incapacity to hide that, because it was a shameful event for them, what they done, they blamed him because of his clerical order that he did not fill the protocol to file the log of the attack. Imagine, so arrogant that they did not want to reward him. In fact, they degraded him, demoted him, that he failed to follow the procedure. Because if he would have done that, they would not have been sitting there, even their families, their loved ones, they would not be sitting there. But look at the audacity of these kind of people. That is why I keep saying that be thankful to them. They have faced a lot just to save us, just to make good for us. So we can talk about this. So what happens after that? He started living a life. He got retired after a few years, still no recognition. After that, at the age of 77, he died. Even then, a lot of people did not knew about his death. Even one of the German uh, newscaster or journalist, he was in touch with him. He told the world about his death in September. He died in May, and he was people were aware of his death in September 2025. I believe so, 7 or something. But at the age of 77, he died. He lived in a very normal flat. He lived a very normal life, feeling degraded. But then afterward, in 2004, there was a film released, and all this came out because of one of his superior. He had the audacity and courage to tell the nation that and the world that this is where he saved us from. Imagine these heroes not only made the best decisions for the humankind, but also faced the backlash of the authorities. And imagine the backlash of authorities at that time. You people might be thinking and considering everything with regards to 2024. Imagine the backlash of authorities at that time from both sides. As humans, imagine, just go in that time frame right now. If you are even sensible this much enough, you will be terrified of that while he is making that kind of decision, he still understand what kind of aftermath he will be facing. Then you will be realizing that what kind of a best and the toughest decision he has made in his life at that time, and what he faced, still no recognition after that, no rewards or awards from their government, because they had to face the incapacity of their system, that they can be dodged anytime. Hopefully you have learned about these heroes. Thank you very much. Please subscribe, and we will come with the more informative things in the future. Thank you very much.